Kicking off things with a very exciting panel. One is an experienced coder building the Netflix of podcasts. One is the most followed Indonesian superstar with over 25 million followers on Instagram. And rounding us off, we have a legendary US comedian. So in conversation with Clara Marques from Reuter's Breaking Views, please welcome to the stage founder and CEO of Castbox, Renee Wang, actress, singer, and author, Prilly Latuconsina, and finally, the legendary comedian and actor, Hannibal Buress. Please welcome them to the stage.
Well, thank you everyone for being here today and coming right after lunch as well, and for this fantastic panel, a mix of startups, entertainment, and I think in Hannibal, a combination of both, a bit of an investor and obviously a comedian too. And I think what we really like to hear about today and to discuss with the panel and with you, the audience, is branding, storytelling, audiences, the things that matter both to entertainment and to startups, to all of you pitching here today. Okay, and Renee, from your perspective, I mean, you're here listening to lots of other pitches. You've obviously done very well in pitching your own story. What do you think the overlap is with entertainment, and what you think the lessons are from when we hear from them?
Yeah, I think as an entrepreneur, we do the pitches every day, basically, to our users, to investors, and to the team members who we want to bring them on board. So basically, a little similar with the entertainment industry. So we try to understand what the audience needs and try to use their languages to tell the story. For example, the investors. So all the investors, they are looking for what it looks like after 2 years, after 5 years, because they want to purchase their, looking for the funding return, maybe within several years. I will tell them, what the product maybe looks like in 5 years, maybe after 5G, after whole content this industry may be disrupted from the day-to-day, what Castbox can be looks like. But from the users, we are using totally different kind of like a story. So, for example, for me, even most of my job work as a CEO, but I take about 30% of my time working as a user support. For example, every day I get up, I will have kind of like a help desk at 9 a.m. every day. So during the help desk, I try to day by day, teaching our users how they can use our product. But I have to use in their words. For example, so for Castbox, we try to position Castbox as an intuitive product. But from user view, it's easy to use. So I have to try to let him know how they can feel, how they can use Castbox, and what it looks like using Castbox in their language. But it's also different with team members. For example, it's really hard to find people to join me as a startup. So you have to tell what they may think, what they may want, as an individual person, what they value most. So to try to tell them what's the benefit, to being working together as a team. So it's quite different, but every day, from day one, we try to tell stories and try to using their languages to tell the story.
So storytelling to your future employees, to your audience, and to your investors. I'm interested, Hannibal, your experience, you engage with audience, and stand-up is probably the most challenging, constantly engaging with your audience. Yeah. But now you're also testing the ability of the startups that you invest in, their ability to engage with their audience.
You know what? Now that I heard you say that, I need to start testing the startups some more. So this panel's been very productive for me. Thank you for that bit of advice. I haven't been testing them enough. And that's what you come to this conference for, is to get information reinforced. Post a lot. Post every day. What are we doing here, guys? I hope everybody leaves enlightened. And this is the Roman candle to blast off all of your careers. Let's go do it. We're all going to be billionaires in 10 years. Let's check in.
Brilliant. I will do that. Renee, you try and keep engaged with your audience. And it's an evolving product as well. You've just moved into producing your own content, so your own podcast for the podcast platform. What do you do to keep engaged with your audience?
So basically, until today, our app has more than 28 million downloads. But since day one, I will check every single email from the user feedback. We have user feedback email.
You still check that at the moment, every single one?
That's true. So basically, as the first 1 year, I will respond. But after we get more email, I don't have to respond every single one. But basically, I will still check. It will forward to my personal email, and I will check every day. And actually, I think for a startup, the only valuable asset for us is our users. So I can take some example how we treat our users. Most of the users are in the US, but our engineer team are in China. So there's one day in the morning, so when one of the users using Castbox during the drive from home to the office, he says that, oh, I used Castbox this morning. This is a good product, but I think there's a feature really important that you don't have here. It was evening in Beijing, and we saw that comment. And I think what he said is really valuable and useful. So within that day, all the engineer team, stay very late, to make that feature live. And then we upgrade the app on Google Play. So I think we finish until 1 a.m., but it's kind of like afternoon in the US. So when the user go back home from office to home, and he used Castbox again to listen to something, and then he said, oh, we have the feature. So he updated his comment, says that, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't notice you do have the feature. But we do not have the feature in the morning. We do have that in the evening. So that's why I think we keep this kind of like upgrade. And so every single user feedback are really important, and this is the only valuable asset for the company. So this is how we do as a tech company.
I'm interested, your audience, you say, is mostly in the US. Do you find that the emerging market audiences engage with you in a different way? Because, I mean, that's very much what Prilly is saying, that, certainly in Southeast Asia, from my experience, people are very keen to provide feedback. They will actively go and comment. Is it different in your experience?
Quite different. Basically, majority, as I mentioned, 50% of our users from the US, but we do have users from 175 countries. So because
that's everyone, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Almost.
We have 0 users in China, 0. So, but we have outside China, we have users from 175 countries. So basically, you can see that the users from emerging markets like South Asia or South Brazil, they are quite different with the users from the US. I think compared to some Asian users, US users are more conservative. they will stick on the stuck with the traditional features. They don't want to try new stuff. But if once we launch new things, all the users from Brazil, from Southeast Asia, they will feel so happy to try. But there's a lot of feedback from the US users said, oh, why you change it again? So it's quite different perspectives. So it's really, but from the US users, the best part, the monetization is better from the developed countries. But if we want to try new features, new functions, we can only launch first in some other countries, which they are more easy to adopt those things.
How easy is it? Brilliant. I wondered, Renee, to replicate this in your world.
Yeah.
How much can AI do for you? How much of what Prilly is doing in social media can you get a machine to do for you?
Yeah, so I think, and also back to the topic about the future of content, the future of the entertainment industry, I believe it will change totally within a couple of years. So not only because of AI, but also because of blockchain, also because all the, after 5G, I think all the devices without a screen can be easily accessed to the internet. And also, as you mentioned, because AI, so all the calculation will be done on the cloud instead of on the end devices. I think if that day came, I believe the content will be much a decentralized world compared to today. I think today is also still the platform, the central platform has a lot of power. But maybe once the decentralized content came, I think it came back to the content themselves. And the content can be distributed multi-devices, multi-platform, and multi-formats. And also, I think maybe later in a couple of years, the content itself can be more social, more interactive. So even today, we can see some movies that the end of the movie can be different, depending on how the users make the choice. But if the AI came, if the whole different kind of devices, voice control, changing the space, it's like, I think at the end of the day, all the content will be more engaging. And it's all kind of like the users can really, not only as a consumer, but also can be a content creator together with the talent, together with the celebrities. So that's, I think, would be the future.
So this is a sort of Black Mirror where you change the ending of the program, you interact directly with the content.
Yeah, and also from technology side, it's also already possible. And also what I think, like maybe after blockchain, which make all the things tokenized. So all the behaviors, all the contribution can be aligned with some value because of the programmatic money, the programmatic contract. So I think that then the power will give back from those centralized platforms to all the talent, all the celebrities back to themselves. For the people who has talent, they have more power, they have more, their way to engage with their audience.
That, which is the need to differentiate yourself, because you do, there is too much out there. I mean, podcasts, probably everyone in this room has a podcast. How does your product stand out, and how do you help the people who are on your platform to stand out?
Yeah, so I think like, as mentioned, like we are in the podcast industry. So, and besides Castbox, there's a lot of big giants which also try to enter the industry, like Spotify, like Apple. So that's why we try to do something in a different way. For example, there's one feature in Castbox we call a live cast. So just like Twitch, but in audio version. And the people can call in, and all the conversation can be recorded and later published as a podcast. And during the whole conversations, people can comment, can also, do the live interaction, and even send in virtual gift for the host to cash out. So this is like what we're trying to do here in Castbox, is trying to also bring some innovative things, and also try to bring some more interactive way for the host, for even maybe some people who has talent but do not have the platform to create their content. Make all the entry, make the threshold of creating a content really low for every people. So this is like, I think this is also aligned with my vision of the future content. It will be more interactive. And also, if you open a Twitch, next time you can also open a live cast on Castbox. So people, can really engage, and they can really get LOL with every single word you say. So, so that's, I think, we, as a startup, what we also trying to do is not in the same battle with the big giant, but try to be more innovation, try to be more innovative, be more creative. Yeah.
So we're almost out of time, but if each of you can give me your one sentence for everyone here who wants to stand out, whether it's as an entertainer or as a startup. Hannibal.
You want me to start? One sentence for everybody to stand out. Shark costume. If you wear a shark costume, you stand out. You got the eyes there. Boom.
I look forward to seeing lots of sharks next year. Renee?
Yeah, I think for startups to stand out, I think we have always tried what we can do differently, how we can change the world in a more innovative way.
Prilly?
Be creative and always do your digital influence for a good cause.
Brilliant. Thank you all very much, and thank you all for being here.
Thank you.